down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Unlikely Podcast. This is the podcast of all podcasts, and we're talking all things wrestling.
Listen, the man introed the show. We've talked to you at a junket.
Yes.
We've talked to you virtually. Now we have you here on studio.
Yes.
So first and foremost, thank you.
By the way, classy. Very classy here.
Well, WrestleMania tickets going on sale. We have to
nice
show love
backdrop.
to these sports and entertainment.
This is a 2-camera setup, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't just some, hey, rinky-dink, put my iPhone up. No.
A lot of people say a fatter CVV. Like, that's what people go with.
Okay.
CVV has ties to Cleveland. You, my
He's
friend.
going to be really upset about this, by the way.
Why?
Because he texts me every day. Want to do the podcast? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to do the podcast. I don't have time.
We're going to send them a selfie.
I don't have time.
Afterwards.
I don't have time. He's going to be so upset. But you know what he does? He'll be like, yeah, I'm going to be at WrestleMania or like SummerSlam, and he'll do someone else.
And then get mad at you.
And then not get mad at me, but like, he doesn't invite me to do it then. He wants me to like do it on my day off. Like this I'm already on. Like, I'm already doing an entire day of media.
This will be the best one, but yes.
If we can slide this in, absolutely, I'm all for it. But he wants me to just separate my day just for him. Not gonna happen.
This is why we're so lucky to have
That's
you
right.
here. And you're from Parma, Ohio.
I'm a hard get.
You are. And I want to talk about Cleveland sports before we get into the wrestling.
Sure.
What's your Mount Rushmore all time?
Of
all Cleveland sports. You get everything to choose from.
Okay, so I mean, obviously the Browns is number one.
No, players. Sorry, I should have made that more specific.
Okay, so we're gonna go with Mount Rushmore of Cleveland Browns players. Okay,
you
so
can also do Browns or Cavs and Indians. All Cleveland sports.
Okay, so we're gonna go with LeBron James. One, the reason being is he brought us a championship.
Damn straight.
So if you bring me a championship, I'm all for it. Number two, we're gonna go with Jim Thome. They have a statue of him outside of Progressive Stadium, so you have to have Thome. Bernie Kosar, because after Bernie Kosar, there is a long list of quarterbacks that we have been waiting to be the guy, and we just have not found the guy. And I have one more. I'm going baseball. I like, my mind is going baseball. Like, I'm like, oh, Corey Schneider, oh, Sandy Alomar, but I'm
Kenny.
like, yeah. I mean, you can go Carlos Baerga, you can go like Vizquel,
Jose Ramirez.
yeah, you can go all the Albert Bell. Do you remember? Do you remember the like target? They're like a Bell target. Like, do you remember that?
You know what's funny? We're both from Cleveland, and our PR guy, who's not from Cleveland, is screaming right now in the background saying Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. No, you know what? It was before my time.
Not our era.
Before my time. I mean,
So what's the fourth?
I was like, you could go Eric Metcalf. You could go Kevin Mack. You can go Ozzie Newsome.
Dennis Northcutt.
Yeah, I mean, you could do all these type of players. But I'm going to go with Mark Price.
Okay.
I'm going to go with basketball. I was going to do all the other things, but every time my mind just kept going back to Mark Price.
Free throws are fundamental. Do you realize, like, as a Cleveland sports fan, there was a period when after LeBron left, the only sports saviors we had was Jason Kipnis, The Miz, and Dolph Ziggler?
I love Jason Kipnis, by the way.
Shout out to him. He's the man. Rightfully so.
He's the man. I mean, we almost went. So speaking of Ziggler and Jason Kipnis, at that time we were in the World Series. First time we ever been to the World Series, Game 7. Me and Ziggler are on a flight to, I think it was like Abu Dhabi or somewhere really far, and we had barely any internet service. And I had like Sirius XM, and I had the game on, and we were listening. And I remember the pitcher from the Cubs coming in, and I believe Kipnis hit a ball or something along those lines.
He had a couple home runs at series.
But it was Game 7. It was like the last one, and
they brought in Chapman.
That's it. Oh yes, they brought in Chapman, and I remember it kept going out. And we were like, what's happening? What's happening? We ended up losing, but man, I thought we were going to win the World Series. I really did.
I forgot what the name of the manager is for the Cubs. I got to interview him, and I told him, I was like, hey, if the rain delay doesn't happen, the Indians, the Guardians, are the World Series champions. But that'll lead me to my next question before we get to the wrestling. Do you have any Cleveland sports hot takes?
I mean, I always say the Cleveland Browns are going to the Super Bowl. Always. And honestly, we would have went this year. Like, we would be 2-1 right now. I won't call it Baltimore. Baltimore, we got spanked, but we beat ourselves against Cincinnati, and I think we can beat Cincinnati again. Cincinnati does not look like very good anymore without good old Joe. So I feel that we have an opportunity. People were talking about the Packers going to the Super Bowl and being a Super Bowl contender and being a team that could win the Super Bowl. We beat them. Why not us?
With no offense. And if you want to go hot takes...
By the way, okay, I'll give you this. Rex Grossman was in the Super Bowl. Okay?
Dilfer.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Why can't Joe Flacco, who's been there before, do it?
We're saving this for real when it actually happens.
Boom.
You've just moved to Las Vegas. You brought your whole family. You are a girl dad. I am kind of interested because I have a 7-year-old son. Just took him to the Worlds Collide show here in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. And 2 things I really appreciated was, number 1, he looked at me and went, Dad, can I chant holy shit? And I said, yes.
Wow!
And then 2, when Dominic Mysterio came out and everyone started cheering for him, he looked around and said, Dad, why do they like this asshole? When it comes to wrestling...
You just have a potty mouth kid that you don't even just... Wow.
Listen, that's what he said. Matter of fact, when he found out
cute.
I interviewed him, he's like, why didn't you beat him up, Dad? I was like, this is a judgment day. He's like, yeah, but you should have tried. There's 5 people. Anyway, for you, wrestling... And your kids, like, are they avid fans? Like, what's the deal? Do you not let them watch?
No. So I will let them watch, and they don't like seeing me lose. They like to win.
Yeah.
I also notice certain things that kids notice that an adult won't. My daughters love colors. Anytime I go, who do you want to win? And they'll always pick the brightest color. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, because I always like to wear black. Just it's more fitting to me. Yeah. But I'm like, now I'm starting to change it where I need bright colors, some sort of bright color in there. The reason being is my daughters like bright colors. So I look at that. They always ask me to wrestle every day. Dad, can we wrestle? So I always tell them the only way we're allowed to wrestle is, what do we do first? We lock up first. So they lock up with me. And then I taught them how to choke, because I want them to be able to handle themselves. So if, something happens, they're able to handle themselves. So I taught them how to choke a person out. So I'll be like, all right, put Dad in a chokehold. Show me that you can do it. And then they'll just like kind of tense up.
Yeah.
Okay, they know how to do it. I don't have to tap out or anything like that, but they know how to tap someone out.
That's amazing. Let's get to the wrestling. A lot of people made noise about Seth Rollins cashing in and faking an injury. Back in the day, you cashed in on the Monday Night Raw in which you were sick. Do people not give you enough credit for that?
No, they don't. They don't ever give me enough credit for anything. I don't think. But I also want my flowers every single day, all day, every day. Right. So no matter how much flowers I get, it's still not enough. Right. And me cashing in. We're talking about the first time.
Yep.
Orlando. I'll never forget it. I get in that day thinking, by the way, I was the guy that was going to cash in and lose. Mm-hmm. That was my trajectory. The first person to ever cash in and lose. I mean, that's something that The Miz would do. That is that character. That is what would happen. But that day I walked in, I remember sitting down and hearing, "You're going over tonight." Wait, what? You're winning the WWE Championship. And by the way, this is close. Not close, but close enough to WrestleMania to where...
It was fall. Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah, it was Survivor Series. Like, I think it was after Survivor Series. And I was like, oh my gosh, this could be a reality. And so I remember cashing in. I remember going out, and I remember like going up against Randy Orton and beating Randy Orton. And I remember just all the emotions that fulfill you. And I remember tears but I was like, nah, I can't let tears out because I'm a man and I'm a WWE champion and I can't be crying. But it was a cool, surreal moment that it's you can't explain because so many emotions go through you at the time.
Can I rewind it a little bit?
Sure.
Because things obviously change every day. They might tell you one thing a week ago, and hey, you show up for Raw, and plans change. When you win the Money in the Bank, and you go back creatively, what are they telling you?
Creatively, so at that time when I was winning Money in the Bank, I think I was United States champion and tag team champion. I didn't find out I was winning Money in the Bank till that day. And I don't think anyone knew who was winning because I had a lot of big names in that Money in the Bank. Randy Orton, Edge, I think Jericho. There were like big names.
Yeah.
And there was also up and coming names that were getting the quote unquote rocket, right? That you were like, okay, that person can get it, that person can get it. I didn't think I was getting it. Did not when I came in. And then when I was told like I was winning the Money in the, I was like, oh my God. And then not only that, I was pushing over Randy Orton. And Randy Orton, the way Randy is such a genius at the little nuances that Randy does is unlike any other superstar, and no one can duplicate it. The way Randy was holding on to the latch and me pushing him over and him just, and by the way, wasn't a big bump at all. It was literally like one of the hangman bumps that are rudimentary, but the way he did it and the way he was climbing up, you see the people start standing up. You see him climbing up and him grabbing and the crowd going nuts. And then the bad guy pushing over the ladder, climbing up, and you just hear the roar as I was climbing up, the boo, ooh, ooh, grabbing it. That was the first time when I grabbed it and held the Money in the Bank that I was like, oh my God. Like, not only am I a WWE superstar, but I'm doing it. Like, it's happening. Like, granted, you win the United States Championship, you win the tag team titles. Yeah, you're doing well.
Yeah.
But winning the Money in the Bank, no one cashed in and lost. I was doing that. And so now, and then I got to cut a promo. I walked to the backstage. I see Vince. Vince is like, you're doing great. You're doing a good job. And from then on, Vince was on me. Like, you need to be doing this. Even when I felt like I would have a great match and I was doing it, it would still be like, no, you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to be more aggressive. You need to stop being so goofy. You have to be taken seriously and you need to focus on this. And then you also have like working with John Cena where you're going on live events and you're learning from him. You're going with Randy Orton and I'm learning from him. And by the way, these are two different entities that have two different teaching styles that are the best of the best. Like I got the best of best. And then also I had Shawn Michaels watching my matches. I had Triple H watching my matches and showcase and basically saying, these are the things that you need to do, that you need to pick up on to become where you need to be. And this is why I always tell all the younger talent to like always be a sponge. And always listen to every single, because what I learned from Triple H, what I learned to Shawn Michaels, what I learned from John Cena, what I learned from Randy Orton are all different. And they all helped piece together who I could be as an original Miz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense
100%.
at all?
No, I'm with you.
So it's like with interviewers, you look at all these different interviewing styles. You take some things from them that you learn, and then you utilize it to be the truest you.
And the sponge is the number one philosophy with anything.
And I've always been a sponge, even since the first day, even though I was loud, obnoxious, and I make a bad first impression always. I'm always still a sponge. I always know I still have a lot to learn. Even right now, sitting before you 20 years into this, I know I have a lot to learn. And I'm learning from the new NXT superstars coming up. I'm learning from a Carmelo Hayes.
Yep.
I think he has a brain to be a mainstay and a top talent in WWE. It's why I've put my focus and generated my focus towards him, because I see the potential that he has. It's just going to take time. And some people, it does take time to develop and to get that fan base over to where they are just screaming for them at all times.
I do want to throw a quick aside because we were talking about Money in the Bank. The Miz is also responsible for one of the there's only been like 2 or 3 times that Rey Mysterio's ever been booed in the WWE ring. And 2011 Money in the Bank, when you came out, your knee was hurt, you got taken back, you come out hobbling, Mysterio's on the top of the ring, The Miz comes out. When he tries to knock you off, man got booed. So I want you to know that needs to be on your Hall of Fame speech, because that's something, because it's only happened 3 times.
I don't get it. Like, I did not understand. I don't understand how Rey Mysterio got booed at that moment, because none of us thought it would happen, right? Me coming back out, I thought the crowd would be like, oh no, boo. Yeah. Oh, this is terrible. The Miz faked us out again. He's going to win Money in the Bank.
And
we don't want this guy
that's
to
a
happen.
Smart crowd.
Exactly. So I'm thinking this is going to be an easy booing moment. And when I came out, the eruption, I went, in my head, I'm hobbling down, or no, I was running.
No, you hobbled.
I hobbled down, and I just remember hearing the reaction. I'm like, this is not the reaction I've said. And there's way too many. And in my head, I'm going, there's way too many ladders in the ring. There's not supposed to be this many ladders in the ring. They're all supposed to be gone. So I'm trying to figure out, all right, how are we going to do all this other stuff that we need to get done with all these ladders in the ring? Because we did not expect. When you have a ladder match, by the way, for anyone out there watching, you have to make sure you know where every single ladder is. And if someone brings in an extra ladder, that's an extra way to get injured. It happens all the time.
And you talk about the fan reaction. One thing that I find interesting, I just interviewed Kyle Fletcher a couple weeks ago, and he said that you were one of his favorites growing up. Rhea Ripley's well documented. And more, you're kind of like, for lack of a better term, you're kind of like the Paul George of the WWE, where all these newer guys look up to Paul George as being their favorite. So when you hear Rhea Ripley all the way in Australia having your cutout and having the awesome shirt, which, by the way, you get underrated merch, by the way.
I agree.
The awesome tag, sticker tag, fantastic.
Sick.
I'm not a mark. But how does that feel to get like some of the, like having all these fans of some of the top people in the business?
It's unexpected, because I'm not the popular one to say. I'm not the name that is like the cool name to mention. You know what I mean? It's always like a CM Punk or like a John Cena or a Randy Orton. The Miz is not the quote unquote popular choice. And usually it's actually you're not a fan.
You're doing this to
dumb.
be funny?
You're stupid. You're doing it to get a reaction. There's no way. But, I appreciate because I have put in the work. I've dedicated myself to this business when people thought I was just doing it for an extra 15 minutes of fame. They didn't understand the history that I have. Maybe I didn't grow up with a dad or, in the family, but I grew up loving WWF at the time. Loving Ultimate Warrior. I had all the pictures. I would go to Toys R Us and get all the action figures. I had the red, white, and blue ring that I would literally slingshot all the action figures with. I had all the video games. I was a huge fan, just never thought I could do it. Like, I just didn't have, never thought I had what it took. Like, I thought you had to be 6'7", 300 pounds of pure solid muscle. That's just what I thought. And then to be sitting here as a person that wasn't supposed to be here, and I did it. And I always tell my daughters this, it takes hard work. How do you get to be like special in a business? How do you get to do something? No one ever talks about how much work you put in. The blood, sweat, and tears. No one ever talks about that. They talk about the championships that you've won, the moments that you've created, but they don't know how you've gotten to where you've gotten and what the things that you've had to go through, both mentally and physically, draining each and every time. The tools you had to pick up, the things that you had to go outside the box in order to go and do it. Like when people said I was never going to become a WWE superstar, I believed it because I moved to California. I found a wrestling school that I had to charge I think it was either $2,500 or $5,000. I can't remember. The number will always go up. But I paid that money through the money that I invested in myself. All the money that instead of buying like cars or houses or clothes, the clothes I bought were merchandise for me, because I was like, okay, WWE superstars sell merchandise. Maybe if I sold merchandise on the real world and the challenges, people would see that and buy it, and I could say, hey, WWE, I'm selling merchandise. I'm profitable. You could utilize me. And I'm also learning the art of professional wrestling at Ultimate Pro Wrestling. I'm also in acting classes, improv classes, iOS, and Groundlings. I'm doing all these things. I'm a nutritionist. I'm going to Gold's Gym Venice because that's where I thought all the muscle guys, that's where they go. I may not look like the pure solid muscle, but I'm dedicated. I'm here. I'm doing everything I can to possibly get there. And now I'm here and I'm still doing it.
Now you're Unc.
What do you mean?
Your uncle, like your Unc, as in you're an old vet.
Okay, is that what they call that? Okay, that's the cool lingo.
It's R-Truth, it's you, it's Randy, it's Ray, of course Cena for not much longer, and that's crazy to see. And I'm fascinated with your story. Obviously, the transition to Netflix, the transition to ESPN with Netflix bought Unreal. And with your history and getting there and some of the things you had to deal with behind the scenes, when you found out and they told you, hey, we're making this like HBO 24/7, like Hard Knocks. We're calling this Unreal and it's going to be on Netflix. What was your reaction to that?
Love it. Because I think that people can now appreciate exactly the work that goes into making a show like a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown, or what goes into a WrestleMania. This isn't just, hey, we just throw things to the wall. No, it's written. It's trying to figure out the best possible outcome, and then we don't also know what's going to happen with the audience and who's going to gravitate. Like watching, Unreal and seeing Jey Uso get that moment and his rise, and someone's pulling out his name to say, hey, what about Jey Uso? And everyone going, that's something. And why is it something? Because the audience can generate, and you can tell the WWE, and WWE is always listening. The execs are always listening. The writers are always listening. The producers are always listening to that crowd, because that crowd will dictate who is over and who is not over. And you can hear it. You can listen to it. You can see it. And now you got a show on Netflix called Unreal where you can see the insides. And I heard a lot of people saying, oh, well, they're only giving you what they want you to see. It's not true. Because if we were giving you what we want to see, we wouldn't give you anything.
It's true.
And we're giving you backstage insights of what it is like to be a WWE superstar, some on the rise, some, that you see that are like, oh, this person's doing this person's doing that. Oh, we have producers, we have writers, we have all these things. It showcases the pure talent that it takes to be a WWE superstar, when a lot of times back in the day, we were looked at as just wrestlers. We're not just wrestlers. We can do anything. WWE has prepared me for everything in Hollywood, whether it's hosting American Gladiators or it's being, in Marine 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in a movies. You could put me in any situation and I feel like I can succeed. And the reason being is because I was on a live show in front of a live audience and I get one take. I didn't need a teleprompter. I didn't need signs that show me words or topics. I'm there. I'm locked in and I'm loaded and I'm ready to go.
You're talking about being prepared and what WWE has taught you with live television. And we're also here for WrestleMania 42 tickets now on sale. You had that moment with
April 18th and 19th. Combo tickets are on sale. WrestleMania was so successful last year in Las Vegas. WrestleMania 41. By the way, dare I say this, best city I've ever seen have a WrestleMania because of what it was able to accomplish.
No one can do it better than Las Vegas.
No, it is the sports and entertainment capital of the world for a reason. From families coming in here and having things to do, not only just WWE, but Vegas offers everything. And so with, Friday Night SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, WWE World with Fanatics, all the things that we were able to accomplish here, after parties. If people couldn't get into Allegiant Stadium, we had watch parties here. Yep. I mean, it had everything. The hotels are second to none. The restaurants are 5 stars. I mean, it is a city. And now that I live here and embrace, the community. When growing up, you just think of Vegas as gambling.
packs.
It's not just gambling. It's for everyone. And I cannot wait to see what WrestleMania 42 brings, because if you thought 41 was awesome, man, 42 is going to be something special.
I want to talk to you about your WrestleMania career and the moments you've had. Of course, you've main evented. You've fallen off of 20-foot scaffolds. You've had to deal with Shane McMahon and Snoop Dogg.
But still, it's a safe style of wrestling, right? Falling off 20-foot scaffolds, and still, he wrestles safe.
We're going to get to that.
Keep going.
We're going to get to that.
No, keep going.
What else do we got? With Cena, the engagement at WrestleMania 33. And then you got the concussion.
The match that nobody wanted, by the way. But then when we did that match, it was one of the matches that everyone talked about.
It's the best feud leading into that WrestleMania.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And you got the concussion at 27, right?
Yes.
That you main evented. So for you, what is the WrestleMania moment that you hold, well, not hold near and dear to your heart, but I feel like did you remember much of that main event match?
Pieces. So I always remember bits and pieces of it, which sucks, because it's one of those moments that you want to remember.
That's what Cena.
That's what you work towards your entire life, but I can't remember it. I remember blips.
So outside of that, what is your moment that you hold? I mean, they're all, you're like picking your kids, but what's the one?
I mean, I love walking down the ramp with my wife as a tag team. It's really cool, especially watching like Seth and Becky and AJ and CM Punk.
Does she want to come back?
I love Maurice.
Yes,
if the right opportunity presents itself. But I mean, it's so cool, and not many people get to actually do what Maurice and I got to do, which is walk down the aisle in our wedding and walk down the aisle in our career at the biggest stage of all, WrestleMania. That was a really cool moment. Also, while you might not remember, you probably remember this, but you don't know what was going on. When my dad at WrestleMania at MetLife Stadium against
34?
Shane McMahon, I think it's something like that, my dad was getting into the ring, right?
35.
If you remember, no blood was allowed at that time. I was bleeding profusely on the announcer's table while my dad is going into the ring. So I'm watching my dad, but the doctors are like, do we have to stitch him up?
The glue or whatever?
Yeah. So basically they patted it down. Like if you looked at the towel as well as the announcer's table, just blood. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to stop this match. They're going to pause it. And if they pause it, they're going to ruin it. This is WrestleMania. I can't let that happen. I was like, stitch me up, staple me. I don't care what you have to do. Stop my bleeding. While my dad is in the ring, putting his dukes up like he's a 1940s boxer. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to happen. Then he beats up my dad. Now it's my time. I'm like, am I good? The doctors are like, it's good, but you better not bleed anymore. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to bleed. And they're going to stop this match, and this is a hardcore match. Like, it has to be hardcore, and the blood makes it look even cooler, but at the time it wasn't allowed. So that's all the stuff that was going on the table. There's some unreal moments.
Thank you for that. Well, listen, you want to talk about unreal moments? You brought up someone, you didn't bring up his name, but you talk about someone who's critiqued you for being a safe worker. Is Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, a lot of people say wrestling soulmate? Is that your top rivalry?
I don't know. Would you say John Cena was my top rivalry? Or would you say Daniel Bryan?
I would say Cena.
Ziggler is also in there.
The reason I'd say Cena is because of the different points in your careers you guys have had feuds. Mm-hmm. So when you were coming out with the 0-1 shirt, the Cena sucks, and the bash, which also, I do want to ask you how you felt after that, because a lot of people are like, this is a 10-minute match, and Cena kind of dominated. Like, how did you feel after that of like, whoa, I thought this was...
I was almost in tears. Oh my gosh. So you go in from being a tag team wrestler, right? And it's very difficult to transition into a singles star. And I go to Raw, and they're like, your first feud is with John Cena.
Post-Mania, right after Mania.
The poster child of WWE. Cena was going to be gone for a while because I think he was either injured or doing a movie or something.
He's filming something.
Something. So I was like, okay, you're gonna literally challenge him every week, and you get to say whatever you want. And Cena was like, you get to say whatever you want.
It was brilliant.
Whatever you want. So I would always write up what I wanted to say, what I wanted to do. Every week I would be like, I'm 1-0, I'm 2-0, I'm 3-0. It went to like 7-0. And then we went to Great American Bash. And I was like, now I get my pay-per-view with the big star of John Cena. I'm gonna I'm going to go. Like, this is going to be like a 5-star match. I had ideas, and Cena's like, nope, we're going to do this. And I was like, oh my God. And he like hit the AA 1, 2, 3 and just wiped the floor with me and walked out. And I went, oh my God. And I remember going back and just everyone was like, that was great. That was great. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And Arn was like, kid, you have not been through the wars to even compete with a John Cena. I was like, yeah, but I've been tag team champion. No, kid, you need to go through the wars to get to John Cena. So I set out to do the wars. That entire year was dedicated to the wars. Kofi Kingston winning the United States Championship, R-Truth, the tag team titles, Big Show, going to a WrestleMania, being in a WrestleMania, featured match at WrestleMania, starting the show as WrestleMania. Like, if you remember, I started the show the year before, and then the next year,
Arizona,
I main evented.
Yep.
And so I had to go through the wars to get to where, and I didn't understand it back then. And most new superstars don't, because they're full of like bravado and like, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to do everything. But John Cena knew. The producers knew. I didn't know. And then going through that year, and now knowing what I know now, it was the right decision. It was exactly what it needed to be, because it motivated me and it guided me to say, you know what? If I want to get to a John Cena and earn the right to wrestle a John Cena in a 5-star match, you need to go through the wars and trials and tribulations that you have to go through to get there. And I did exactly that, and I got to wrestle him at WrestleMania.
That's one of the reasons why I do enjoy that Melo is with you and working hard. Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, Melo, he should be in the title match right now. And it's like,
everyone believes that, but there are steps that you must take. That even Melo, I sit there and I go, dude, I'm telling you, you need more time. No, dude, I'm ready, man. But and I remember that was me.
Yeah,
that was me.
And that's why.
And so I get it. And it's hard to tell someone, that give them reality checks, right? But I know he has all the talent. It's just going to take time. And the fans are like, no, we know better. You don't. Like, as much as you think you do, you don't. And so I know, because I've been there, and I'm not doing one of those things where it's like, just because you're fans, you think you know. Fans are able to generate whatever they want. You want Melo to be the top star and surpass what I'm telling you right now? Cheer for him. Boo him louder than anyone in the entire roster, and I guarantee he will be the next rising star. But some people, it takes time to develop that.
I do need to bring it back to the spiciness. Bryan Danielson, is that your second biggest rivalry then?
Sure. I'll give you that. Sure. I mean, it was the first. It's funny. I just did NXT Homecoming, right? Mm-hmm. Which was massively successful on CW. It was great. But I did it, and people were like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "What's the first face that's ever been on NXT?" That one, right there.
On Sci-Fi.
Yes, on Sci-Fi. I cut a promo to all of the contestants, and Daniel Bryan being one of them, and brought him out to the ring and slapped the taste out of his mouth. That was the first thing that you saw on NXT TV. And I remember I remember when I was his pro, and he was my rookie, and all the fans on the internet erupted. How could they put The Miz with Daniel Bryan? Oh my, So I wrote a whole essay on what it takes to be a WWE superstar, and why a lot of people come to WWE and aren't successful. A lot of people, a lot of independent wrestlers that all the fans think that are going to generate notoriety, they're going to be the biggest thing ever, and they flop because it's a different entity, and you need to be ready for it. And honestly, he did a great job and became a multi-time champion.
Before we hit you with some quick hitters and get you out of here, and thank you so much for the time. Earlier this year, you got to go overseas and wrestle Joe Hendry. Mm-hmm. You talk about people. Hey,
I didn't say his name either.
He just popped up?
Just popped up.
How was the experience being in the ring with him? What'd you think?
Great. I mean, the European crowd loved it, and the European crowd's always fantastic. And I think he has a lot of potential. I do think that right now a song is the popularity, and if you're able to do what you need to do in the ring as well. It'll generate, but I also think you need to evolve. I think right now he's doing everything right. He's doing everything right. And I think that the future is bright for Joe Hendry.
What's the most expensive suit you've worn on television, and how much?
I think it was probably WrestleMania when I hosted. I had 2 suits, and I think they cost $10,000
Each?
No, together.
Total?
$5,000 each.
Nice. You live in Vegas, right?
Yes, I
You
live
got
in
Cash
Vegas
App?
now. Huh?
You got Cash App?
Cash App?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone has
We'll
Cash
talk
App.
about it later.
I think everyone has Cash App.
We'll talk about it later. The inflatables for your entrance.
I wish they were still there.
Whose idea was it?
That was WWE's idea. I didn't know they were happening until I saw them, and I went, what is this?
Bro, I'm sorry to cut you off. Hold on a second. We've talked the Nas promo. You didn't know that was happening.
No.
The inflatable, so they didn't have it at rehearsal?
So rehearsal is when the first time I saw it.
Okay.
And
okay.
I was like, we were trying to figure out how I was going to, because they're heavy. And me doing this, I had to have 2 people behind them go like that, like push them aside.
Yeah.
Because if I went like that, it would have just clobbered me. But when I went like that, they come out. I wish I still had them. But I think they got thrown away somehow, some way. No one knows where they are. So if you have my inflatables, I want them back.
Who are your closest friends from wrestling?
Close friends from wrestling: John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder, Carmelo, Cody. A lot of people like look at it and are like, would probably be like, wait, what? But Punk, like, we have such history. We used to drive together. Like, it used to be, we all used to be in a van. There would be like 5 of us and swoggle in a van, like driving town to town. And that was before, iPhones. And so all you would do is talk. And so we have such a rich history, and just remember like memories of like OVW, where we were all trying to become someone. And now here we are 20 years later, someone.
You surprised that he apologized to you when he showed up to Raw? When he was still a part of another company?
Yeah.
It shocked you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, right? I remember coming down the stairs and seeing him and just being like, hey, I didn't know what to expect, right? And seeing him come back, it's been interesting because I remember before. Like, I remember driving with him, but I also remember when he was at the tail end. And it didn't seem like he was a happy person. And now I see him backstage, and it's just a different person that I remember. He seems very happy, and I wouldn't even say complacent, because he's always competitive and always wants to be number one, but also is in a position where he is teaching a lot. And, there's not many of us that have been here for 20 years and have been able to teach and learn and adapt. So it's cool to see the change and the happiness, right? Because you want happiness for everyone.
And growth. No, that's great. And we'll close out with this. Just announced John Cena will be taking on AJ Styles. We got 5 dates left. That's a match that we have left. You just brought up it's the biggest rivalry ever. Actually, let me just phrase it like this to close this out. What was your reaction to seeing that this match has been announced with Cena and AJ Styles one last time?
I'll tell you what I tell you backstage. I was happy for AJ Styles, but very angry that it's AJ Styles versus John Cena and not John Cena versus The Miz, and the fans aren't aren't going like, we want The Miz versus John Cena. Beat the guy at WrestleMania in the main event for the WWE Championship. One of the only people ever to do something like that. And I can't get a match with John Cena. He's got 5 dates left, and it's not AJ Styles or CM Punk or even it's the WWE Universe are asking for what they want, and they're giving it to him. They put out on Twitter, I want AJ Styles. AJ Styles rebuttals. 5 seconds later, Triple H is like, you guys want it? It got enough steam? Let's go. Let's have it because the audience wants it. You know what? You know what the audience could do? The audience could say, we want The Miz versus John Cena. And I would love to have one more match. I've been talking about this since the retirement tour started. I was the first person to go, sign me up. I'm putting my name in the hat. When's my number going to get called? Maybe not never, because there's only 5 left. There's only 5 more dates. Every time I see John Cena backstage, I'm like, 5 more, 4 more, 3 more. That's all we got. I have the rich history with John Cena. I do. I've been there from the beginning. And I don't get a match. So yeah, I'm pretty upset. Like, that's my heart talking.
Yeah.
That's my brain and my wisdom and knowing that I'll never, and you know what else is upsetting? Like, that the youth will not get to experience a John Cena match. They won't get to be in the ring with him. They just won't.
Yeah.
That's the gut-wrenching part for me. But selfishly, I want that match. I don't want to give it to, I don't know who else is ever, I don't know, the five dates left. I don't know who's getting the match.
A lot of people talking Dom. Dom's a big name, a buzzword. Other than that, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Other than this guy.
Right.
And guess what? You're not going to see John Cena at WrestleMania, but you're going to see The Miz and the rest of the WWE roster. Tickets on sale. Combo tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.com. You've done the trifecta, sir.
Yeah.
Junkets, virtual, and now here in studio. Miz, thank you so much for the time, and go Cleveland, baby.
Thank you very much. Go Cleveland. Let's go.
Don't you dare be sour. Clap for Unlikely with Adrian Hernandez and feel the power.